your Green candidate, Sharon Murphy. And your Conservative candidate, Rodney Weston. It is a big job. It is a long campaign, so I'm sure the applause is...
Achieved a lot, with $14 million being provided in capital assistance from the federal government, and with the per unit subsidy being increased from $25,000 to $40,000.
The Green candidate, Sharon Murphy.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. It's really great to see so many folks come out at noon hour on your lunch. I realize that we're all really busy, and it's very, very appreciated that you care. It's so important. I would also like to thank the Human Development Council. Really, this organization, the importance of it can't be understated. I personally use the council myself when I work and organize different conferences and try to find out information about what's going on. It's a real wonderful clearinghouse for information, as well as great when it comes to developing and promoting policy that will safeguard all of our qualities of life. It's really important, so thank you so much to the organizers for this fabulous event. I'd just like to say a few words about who I am. I'm a St. Johnner from pre-Loyalist, actually, in the Musquash area, and I'm really, really proud of it. Grew up on the west side of St. John, and I'm now living out in Rossay with my family. I really love it. I'm also a factory boss and owner over by the refinery. We have a small business with 9 employees. It's really great, as well as I teach natural childbirth to women that are interested. And if anybody knows anybody, feel free to send them my way. The issues that we're here to discuss today, and I really hope that we can stick to some of these issues that are extremely important in my mind, and one of them, of course, is the epidemic of child poverty that we have here in the city. That goes hand in hand with inferior housing and really just basically a situation where many of our citizens are not getting their needs met. There's a hierarchy of needs. We need to have safe housing. We need to have decent food. We need to be clothed properly. We need to drink clean water and breathe clean air. These things are not happening in St. John to so many people. I'm setting up a conference actually coming up soon in the North End, where it's known to be the poorest neighborhood in Canada. That is absolutely unacceptable. There is no way that we as civilized society people that house some of the wealthiest people in the country, in this city, should accept the fact that the child poverty is the worst here than anywhere in the country. And with the Green Party, there's no question that we would like to see some solutions now enacted and not be waiting. There's one other thing that folks should know, that the Green Party does support the value of a national strategy when it comes to energy, education, and poverty. It's super important. We don't want to offload into the provinces. We need to all stand up and make a difference, especially for the children. Thank you.
That brings us to the question portion of the afternoon, and answers need to be confined to 2 minutes each. I think we've got a microphone for Juanita Black.
Canada does not have a national strategy to reduce poverty. My question, are you in favor of a national poverty reduction strategy? What poverty reduction measures will your party pursue? And personally, I want to know personally what you will do to change this unacceptable rate.
Advocacy is about acting, writing, and listening, and acting on behalf of people in need and those whose voices are not heard, and I will be that advocate.
We'll go to the Green candidate, Sharon, and if anybody needs me at any time to reiterate the questions, I'm happy to do that. But are you okay to carry on, pick up here, Sharon?
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Wayne. I hope those things come true if you get in. That would be great.
Thank you.
So I just would like to start with personally, currently we're hosting a conference coming up, the end of October in the North End at the old North End Community Center, where we're going to look at the connection between the economy and socio-economic situation and children's health. And so we know there's a lot of links there. This is what will come out of this conference will give us a lot more tools and ammunition to be able to deal with this huge problem, because we need to understand that the children that are living in poverty are not just poor, they're not well. And wellness is connected so much so in a quality of lives. So personally, that's where I'm going. I'm on the ground running in my different collaborations. This collaboration is called Children's Environmental Health Collaborative. Okay, so besides the personal, I'd just like to say that an annual guaranteed income across the board will do a lot for people living in poverty as well as the rest of us. It will also really help the economy. We need an annual guaranteed income in this country. It's not new. It happens all over the place. This is something we definitely need in Canada as well. We need student loan debt relief. We need to get rid of the debt that the students that have worked so hard are saddled under. As well, we need to provide from here on in free tuition for our young people, but not necessarily for everyone. We need to be able to educate and get out of this terrible situation that we're in. Thank you very much. And just as well, National Housing Strategy would make a world of difference. We've got a True Growth 2.0 in St. John that is bad news for everyone. We need to look towards what they call the St. John Vision 2015. It's an awesome, awesome paper. Thank you.
My question for you today is, what policies or investments would you and your party advocate for that are aimed at creating a more diverse, sustainable, and purpose-driven job market that is attractive to our younger generations?
Okay. And Sharon, if you could start this one off, please.
Thanks a lot, Harry. That was a great question. I would have to start by saying that I do believe, as well as the Green Party, that there's what they call a false narrative or a false story being woven across the country about our desperate situation when it comes to jobs and economy. We do beg to differ. The facts are there are very few of us in this province, in this city, in this country, and our resources are plentiful. What we need is a national strategy where we will all get to work using our resources sustainably for the benefit of all people. Now, what I mean when I say resources are, in the case of St. John, we've got high tides, we've got wind, we've got awesome, awesome beauty. Those type of things are resources that can be used to create wealth and jobs. We also have a situation where studies have been done that show that for every $1 million invested in fossil fuels, we get very few jobs compared to the money invested in renewable and sustainable industries, green industries. That is huge. We have upwards of tenfold the amount of jobs that can be made when it comes to renewable and green and all that stuff. It's happening around the world. We do not in any way need to pull the tar sand sludge up off the ground, destroy our earth, poison our people and our waterways in order to get the last cent. It is not necessary and it is not true. We must step aside from that false narrative and take the bull by the horn and demand that we access our resources and see an economy that is healthy, green, and sustainable with lots of jobs for all of us. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the question. And
What is your position on Energy East Pipeline, and how do you reconcile the competing interests between environment and economy, jobs specifically? You've all referenced unemployment. And can you give us some very specific ideas of what you would do to help support and improve the local economy and support and protect the environment?
Well, I don't think there's any question that the Green Party does not support the pipeline, period. So, that being said, There's a couple of things that I made notes of when I was doing a little bit of a research for today that folks might be interested in hearing. First of all, Harper pledged 17% lower emissions than 2005 in 2009. He said that was going to happen by 2020. It's not going to happen. We're not going to make it there. So we're failing abysmally across the country when it comes to that sort of thing. We have a lot of political interference and budget cuts when it comes to environmental protection. So we're not really sure how we can actually get to the crux of the situation using science. Harper abolished the National Roundtable on Energy and the Economy as well. So we've got a big problem here, people. We do not accept that there are any jobs coming over here with the sludge line. It's not guaranteed. Currently, the oil refinery is not equipped to deal with the sludge. This is a export-only pipeline, not for jobs for you people. I'm not sure where that information came from, but the facts are currently there are not jobs coming. There's sludge coming, and it's very, very gross. It's a dangerous gambling situation. In St. John, we're constantly speculating and gambling on these large industries. This is a real loser coming down this way, people. No jobs, just filth and destruction. However, that being said, we have all sorts of hope when it comes to jobs, but the jobs have to come when we look at a comprehensive energy strategy plan across the country. We need to look at renewable energies, green economy, all sorts of good money-making stuff for quality of lives and jobs for all of us. The energy pipeline is a dead end.
Ben Alberti. Great. Go ahead, Ben, if you want to address the candidates. Thanks.
And what does an immigrant-friendly community look like for you in St. John?
Okay, role of immigration. Well, I couldn't understate the importance of immigration more when it comes to our tiny population and our great big land. We need folks that are diverse and energized and thankful to be here. They're not going to take it for granted like lots of folks I know that have born here many, many generations. And we need that energy. We need that passion. We need definitely the multiculturalism in St. John especially. There's no question in my mind. And what does an immigrant look like? Well, they look like you and I. That's who they look like. There's no difference. There's a lot of people, and they're all wonderful people, and we really, really want them here, and we're thankful for all the people that do decide to come here. I know it's not the first destination. They go to the big cities, and it's so important to have them come here because really we need to have that mix up in our communities. There's no question in my mind at all. Now, when it comes to Syria, Elizabeth May has stated very clearly 25,000 people should be welcomed into this country now. That's the number that we know right away we can handle, 25,000. We also need to live up to our commitments that we made to the UN High Commission for Refugees. We are not. It's an embarrassment on the world stage what's going on. And we should all be ashamed of our Prime Minister currently of what's going on. We need to fix the system that Harper has broken for the immigrants and the refugees immediately. It's been gutted, as it's already been said. This is a huge, huge problem. And also, we also need to recognize the connection between climate change that we spoke about earlier, war, and refugees. That's what happened in Syria. Those wonderful people got in a drought from climate change, and they lost everything. War started, politics started being played, and now we know what's going on. And this is going to happen around the world. So climate change, immigration, it's all connected, and we need to do better for everyone. Thank you.
And so the final comments come from your Green candidate, Sharon Murphy.
We have a big problem in this city and in this country. Almost half of us don't vote. That's huge. If you could do anything when you folks leave today is to let people know that it's cool to vote. It's great, and they can vote now. That's a big secret, apparently, no one seems to know. You can vote now, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day, you can just go right over across from the Milledgeville Superstore to Elections Canada and vote. Do it now. Wait till the 19th. It's okay to do it now. So that's the message that I really want to get out to every single one of you. Please do vote. As far as there being 3 parties, there's actually 4, Ms. Long, and the Green Party is the 4th one. That's something to remember too when you go talk to the half of us that haven't ever voted. They could vote Green. So, that being said, I just want to quickly go over a few things that are important for the Green Party. One is that in our platform, we're looking at a sustainable economy with lots of money and a good quality of life for all of us. It is within our reach. We do not have to be poor any longer. Second thing, we need strong communities. That includes the CBC. Very important. That includes the seniors. That includes the veterans. That includes not hiring criminals to work in your government. That includes repealing this Bill C-51 and hiring all the scientists back. And that includes all the Harper cleanup we can do in this country. Very important. Please, everybody, remember that. The other thing I just want to say is that regardless of whether or not you remember there's a Green Party, I will be working for you. No problem whatsoever. There's 2 conferences coming up, one dealing with children's environmental health on November 13th, and another one dealing with sustainability education, where we're looking at the economy and the relationship with education on October 27th. Talk to me about it. I will keep working, and I'm not going to give up for you folks. Thank you.
Well, I know people have places to go. First of all, on behalf of the Human Development Council, I wish to thank all 4 candidates for your time and your preparation, and to everyone who turned out and to everyone who submitted questions.